Yeah, the 80s were like perm hairs and the Metallica.
90s had a lot of Metallica. 91's when Black Album came out. And a lot of people that
Yeah, I
weren't
know.
into their earlier thrash stuff were able to start listening to them because they had songs, like Nothing Else Matters or Unforgiven. And of course, stuff like Inner Sandman, which is like now one of their cult classic songs. Even though it's not from like Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, whatever.
Mm.
We mentioned Metallica quite a bit. So Matt went to Metallica. Wow,
Metallica.
that was the best mess up I've ever had. So Matt, what's your favorite Metallica album?
Um,
Sin Anger.
no. Uh, I'd probably say out of everything I've heard, probably Ride the Lightning.
Yeah, there's mine right there too. I love Ride the Lightning.
I love me some Creeping Death,
Creeping
some
Death is an awesome
Battery,
song.
Battery.
Isn't Battery and
Is it?
Master of Puppets?
You might be right. But
Unforgiven
yeah,
3 is my favorite Kill 'Em All song.
but out of all of them I've heard, I like Creeping. I like Ride the Lightning the most.
How do you think their new album's gonna be?
I don't know. How was the old last album?
Death Magnetic from like 2008.
Yeah,
It had a couple good songs. I actually did like the solo from Unforgiven 3. Um, you know, I listened through the whole album a couple times, but I had two or three songs that I mainly listened to, which is good enough for me for an album.
I mostly prefer the older stuff because I found out through all the different types of metal that I listen to that the one that I can usually get down to is thrash.
Get down to. Do
Or
you
should I
ever
say
listen to?
thrash?
Do you go into any like groove metal with it, like any stuff like Pantera or Machine Head?
Uh, Not too much.
You ever listen to any Machine Head?
Um,
Because they seem like a band you'd probably like.
I've listened to that one song that they do, and
I love that one song that they do. I'm assuming you're
and
talking about Unto the Locust.
let me find it. I actually have it on my phone.
I was gonna
I
say, is
can't
it
remember
one of
the
the ones
name of
from
it.
Sleeping Dogs? Because they have two songs on there.
I haven't played Sleeping Dogs in a long time, so I wouldn't even remember if it is on there.
I loved it because I always stuck to the metal channel, so it'd always have stuff like Machine Head, and then
I should probably turn my volume down so it doesn't
well, don't play the
accidentally
actual
play it.
song, just look at the name.
Beautiful Morning.
Ah,
Morning spelled
Mo,
M-O-U.
yeah, that's a good song from Blackening. Because some of their older stuff used to be new metal, then they moved on to groove metal.
I get down to a couple of Evil songs as well.
Evil.
Yeah, they're a British thrash metal band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the difference between English thrash and American thrash.
That you guys
An
have
F.
dumb names. Ours are all
Evil.
original, like Slayer and Anthrax. Yours are dumb.
Also another good band.
Dumb?
No, Anthrax.
Do you like Anthrax more than Slayer?
I've only really heard like one Slayer song.
Is it Raining Blood?
Yeah.
Freaking good song,
Oh,
though.
and I actually made that too because I've heard Raining Blood and
Well,
War
you know
Ensemble.
what the best Anthrax song is?
What?
Yeah, boy, free. How low can you go? Turn up the clock on the radio, or whatever the lyrics are. That's Anthrax.
Mm.
I think Anthrax
One.
is the one band of the big four that takes their music the least bit serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whenever they did the Big Four tour thing, and they all played. I don't remember whose song it was, but it was like something. It might have been Diamond. I don't know. But they played a song that was just not heavy at all. So it was like one member of Slayer went out there, Then it was like, people from Megadeth, Anthrax, and Metallica, and they were all out there jamming to it. But the rest of Slayer is like, yeah, we didn't want to go out there because it just isn't us. It's not heavy. It's garbage. Should have did something like Metallica's The Four Horsemen. Metallica's like, well, it's all of us. I don't want to do just a Metallica song. And then Anthrax is like,
So
yeah, let's
what?
do a rap album.
Fair enough.
Because then they also have like the I Am the Man, which is the song about. It's just them rapping about how they're the real MCs and they can rap, but then one of the members keeps messing up the rhymes.
On purpose, I hope.
No, yeah, it's on purpose. And then they keep calling him out for it. It's funny. It's a really funny song. And then, of course, there's Megadeth, which is basically the band that couldn't have been without Metallica. Because they're all like, no, Dave Mustaine, you're fired. And then Dave Mustaine's like, fine, I'll start my own cool band. He managed to make two extremely successful, or be in two extremely successful metal bands.
Mm. And then he was like, "I'm gonna write a song about talking to himself."
Oh, because he's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then he had a
Well, it's
cameo on
been
Duck
nice talking
Dodgers.
to myself. A credit to dementia.
You hear me though?
Hmm?
Then he had his cameo on Duck Dodgers.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, because in Duck Dodgers, the not the Looney Tune version. Well, it's still Looney Tune or Daffy, but it's the actual TV show Duck Dodgers, not the old classic one. Um, Daffy Duck is revealed to be like a big metalhead, and one of the things he finds is a cryogenically frozen Dave Mustaine, who's voiced by Dave Mustaine. But he has amnesia, so Daffy basically just convinces him that they're like friends and hang out and play music together, and he makes the band Megaduck. And then a giant Martian army is attacking, and then Dave Mustaine's memory comes back, and then the IQ or whatever his name was unfreezes the rest of Megadeth, and then they play a giant concert, and the guitars shoot laser beams and explosions and fight off the Martians.
You
It's
know,
it's like the single greatest episode of Duck Dodgers.
because apparently that's how Cartoon Network do.
It's
They just
awesome.
take things and then like take the absolute most liberties that they can. Cough, cough, and steampunk cyborg John Wilkesboro.
Would you consider him a celebrity?
Well, famous people.
Yeah, but John Wilkes Booth didn't voice John Wilkes Booth on Batman. Dave Mustaine
Uh,
voiced Dave Mustaine in Duck Dodgers.
I mean, just like in general.
And then he sung the song Back in the Day. Back in the Day! There's that, whatever that new, like, not very good Looney Tune show is. It might be called The Looney Tune Show or something. They,
I haven't watched it.
I haven't actually watched it either, but I saw there was a commercial for something they did, and it was called something like The Wizard. And it's another metal song based off of the old metal movie. Where Daffy Duck's like riding on a dragon, and it's playing heavy metal the whole time, and it's amazing.
Is the new owner of Looney Tunes like a metalhead or something?
Just Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck's character is supposed to love metal.
Fair enough.
That's why whenever you see like sometimes in backgrounds on walls and stuff, I'll have like a Maiden poster or something.
At least it's good metal and not
Oh yeah.
the my boyfriend looks like my waifu kind of thing.
Would you consider that metal?
No, I mean like the bands that like deathcore and stuff like that,
Oh okay.
where half the guys look like chicks.
So like, oh I think I meant like glam.
No, although technically glam metal does exist,
Yeah,
and
and
Pantera was one of them for before they came the Pantera that everyone knows now.
Pantera is
Cause
one
me,
of those bands for me that's like weird hits and misses.
mm,
Like I've never been a big
uh,
Pantera fan, but I've got some songs from Pantera that I really like.
yeah, I remember back in college that we were just looking up. Me and a few friends were college friends were looking up Pantera stuff,
Yeah.
and we came across like a really really old video from like the 80s where Pantera was like a glam rock, a hair metal band, and it's like really ridiculous, like neon yellow and green, like t-shirts and stuff. It's like, is this really Pantera?
Who's your favorite guitarist, Matt?
Me. No, I don't know.
Good answer.
I don't. I don't actually really have one.
Ever? Like, you don't have a guitarist. It's like that is the cool. Like, he's not doesn't have to be the best. He's just your personal favorite. Like for me, it's Randy Rhoads.
Um, no, not really. I I can listen to a guitarist and like, yeah, he's pretty good, and
You
that's
sit
about
around
it.
and like, I just listened to Yngwie Malmsteen, and he tells me how cool he is while he plays his guitar.
Do you like that? It's cool. Like me.
I wrote this song
And
using the scale I made up. But go on.
I call it the Malmsteen. It's like half D, half C.
No, you missed a note.
And
That was the Malmsteen pentatonic scale. How knowledgeable are you in music theory in that term, Matt?
not very, because I did music,
Yeah.
but we never really learned music theory too much.
You went to school for music and didn't learn theory?
No, because
Right, so today we're
yeah,
going to talk about music. Listen to this song. Pretty good, right? All right,
because we
class is
didn't.
over.
Well, what it was is I did like music like was one of like the predestined like things that you do in high school, but I had a really crap teacher that didn't like me, so I never really paid attention too much.
So did the teacher not like you, or did you not like the teacher?
Both ways.
Okay.
She definitely had something against us because she always picked on us and like
Probably
I
weren't
don't
metal
know,
enough
whatever.
for.
And then when I did music at college, it was kind of like they kind of like figured you'd know at least some
She
music theory at
she
that
was
point.
probably like the lightest thing that I listened to is Dimmu Borgir. So if you don't listen to at least Dimmu Borgir, get out of my class.
It's just like the only pop I listen to is Meshuggah.
That was the next band I was gonna use. That was weird. Or you could use the band that Tyler and I came across, Necrogoblicon, which is it's a band that's like metal and they're goblins, and like one of their first songs is called Go Go Goblin Rangers. But then after that, all of a sudden, all their stuff is like all kinds of weird genres. Like it'll be extremely heavy, just like fast metal crap. And all of a sudden, they'll start putting laser beam sound effects in there, and it'll turn into like a synth solo. It's weird, and then it'll go like power metally. It's crazy.
There's a lot of bands I like actually
I like that
when
this
it
turned
comes to stuff
into
like that.
like a metal podcast.
Yeah, we went completely off topic of what we were originally talking
Well,
about.
I mean, we did a lot of the holiday stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of cool bands. Obviously, a lot of the like I love Maiden. Iron Maiden's one of my top, and of course newer stuff. I love Death Clock, the fictional metal band from the cartoon Metalocalypse.
Yep,
Man, Burden Small writes some legit music. It's good, both in Death Clock and his own album, the Galacticon.
I like Awaken a lot.
Yeah, Awaken's a good song. I like on the
Birthday,
first,
Death Day.
let's say, on the first Death album, like the first four songs are great. Like pretty much all the songs are great, but those are the ones that I'm just like, yes. I love Mermaider. Mermaider going to the water. Thunder Horse is good, but it's been a bit overplayed from everything else for me now. Um,
Blood Lions is a little overplayed since it was put in Guitar Hero as well.
the demo for Thunder Horse was put in Guitar Hero 2.
Yeah, I know.
Bloodlines
That's
was
when I
in
first
Rock
heard
Band,
it.
wasn't it?
Bloodlines was in Warriors of Rock,
Oh, okay.
which was the last Guitar Hero before the current one. Which the current one, I don't know. It doesn't even look like Guitar Hero anymore.
Isn't that like Guitar Hero 6 or something?
Guitar Hero Live, and
Mm.
I guess that it's basically the idea is that it's supposed to give you the feeling of playing to a real live band. So it's like an FMV game.
Hmm.
So
You know, you
instead of
could
having
just
like
you
the
could just go out and play for people.
mm, so instead of having the graphics, like the little band that you made up in the other games,
Yeah.
it just has like this footage of an actual band next to you, like with a guitarist and a bassist and
Yeah, I
whatever.
saw one of their advertising things was they got Sevenfold to come in and do like I guess live versions of some of their songs. So it's supposed to be like a full
Mm.
live performance of an Avenged Sevenfold concert.
And then the free play is like you play along to music videos essentially.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I don't know about the whole live thing because I heard there was a live thing with it, but I didn't know exactly how that worked. How many bands have you played in, Matt?
Uh, Technically just the one.
Which is well something with attitude, wasn't it? Grapefruits with attitude or something.
No, that was just a dumb
Milkshake.
thing we did.
Ah,
The real one was Danny and the Summer Fruits, and that was for my college.
that was it.
We did
Yeah,
it. We did an entire thing, but only two of them were actually recorded.
I've been in a couple, but I tend to just stick to myself with most of the music now. Uh,
I did a solo acoustic performance that night as well, but for whatever reason, our teacher who was supposed to record them, he never actually recorded them.
they just thought yours was
Or,
garbage.
or, or if he did record them, the files got lost or accidentally deleted or something because he never actually showed us the videos.
He actually just goes home and whacks off to him every night.
So yeah,
So what type of stuff do you play on the acoustic? My grandma
uh,
plays guitar.
I did a couple of things.
You do some
I made
sweet tap solos.
nah. I mostly stuck to like the pop punk stuff because it's easy to play.
Uh, so a bunch of like eighth notes on either power chords or just bar notes.
Mm. If I remember rightly, I did "What Went Wrong" by Blink-182. Um,
Also known
I
as the only
end
pop punk band I can name.
yeah, I ended with "Time of Your Life" by
Hmm.
Green Day. So it was super cheesy as well. It's like this is my last song.
Did you
I
sing it
hope you
too?
had the time of your life. Yeah, that's what it was. It
It's
was
something unpredictable that in the end feels right. I hope you've had the time of your life. That one?
and for some strange reason, I don't know how I got away with it, but I did it as a sort of a dare. I did Cowboy Gay Sex.
How'd that work out for you?
It went down quite well.
I'm not talking about the
Not s-
Cowboys.
not so much with the parents though.
What? Weren't you in college?
Yeah, but we did
Maybe
it
my
like
20-year-old son shouldn't be shown such filth.
no, it was for college, but we actually did the gig in an actual
In an
like
elementary
in a
school,
local in a local bar.
at a preschool, at a bar. How old are the kids? So they're still
I
at least
don't know,
18 or
but
older.
that's the thing. We didn't really start until like 8, 9 o'clock.
My
So,
my 27-year-old son can't hear such smut.
but yeah, we did that. And then in the actual group things, I sang "Pretty Fly for a White Guy."
Main songs that we did, or in the last group was me and a bunch of friends, were two Metallica songs, which were "Fade to Black" and "Welcome Home Sanitarium." And then we did stuff like Beelzebub from Tenacious D.
How'd that play out?
Really well until our drummer's mom found out. Didn't help that we practiced at his house because that was back when, God, we were freshmen in high school then, and she just didn't like our singer yelling the F word, 26 times.
My
What happened?
controller turned off again.
Oh, okay. I thought you just weren't
Yeah.
acknowledging my
No,
statements.
when the Xbox controller turns off, it turns off the mic and everything else.
So you couldn't even hear me?
Through the TV, I could.
Oh, okay. Then you know what the dealio is with her being like, oh,
Yeah, something about swearing 25 times,
yeah,
and
the
then
just dropping f bombs constantly.
and you're like, now I'm complete, and my cock you shall suck.
Well, my only job was I just did all the electric guitar parts, and of course the tasty solo, and then my buddy Lucas did all the acoustic parts. This world will be mine. We did a bunch of songs. I can't remember some of the ones we played. What's the one our old drummer wanted to play? I remember originally he's like, oh, we'll do some AC/DC, and we threw some of those in the mix, and doesn't end up getting replaced, because all of a sudden he was one of those people that went from all classic rock, like he would play stuff like Animals, not Animal, not the drummer from the Muppets. And that's all he played was he'd eat his drum set at the end of the performance. No, we'd play stuff like Animals or like House of the Rising Sun. We'd do AC/DC, Zeppelin, and then he went from there to like that metalcore phase, and then he went into like, the stuff like Avenged Sevenfold and Eyes for Alexandria or whatever it's called.
I wouldn't
Basically,
know.
bands that are like at least 3 words or more. You know what I'm talking about?
Ridiculously.
Like bands like that.
Kinda, yeah. And they always have like ridiculous like acronyms and abbreviations.
Like A7X, because it's Avenged 7 and then a fold. I actually
Yeah.
think that's pretty clever. When I first heard it, I was like, that's weird, but I do actually just like the sound of A7X. Actually, I like the name Avenged Sevenfold. Because, it's from the book of Cain and Abel.
Mm.
With anyone who tries to seek vengeance on Cain for killing Abel will be avenged
And
7 times over, or sevenfold.
yeah, and then Atreyu got their band name from
Neverending Story.
Neverending Story.
Yeah. Oh, true.
What other bands got their name from movies?
I mean, Iron Maiden, the medieval torture device, but I think they got it from the man with the metal mask or whatever, didn't they?
Maybe.
Like an older rendition of it.
There's Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah. They, of course, got theirs from 101 Dalmatians. That we should make a band called 101 Dalmatians.
Also, sometimes bands get their song names from other bands
Yeah.
as well. Like Old Time Low got their name from a Simple Plan song. Or was it Simple Plan? I can't remember. Newfound Glory, I think, actually. One of the two.
Our band name is Through the Fire and the Flames. Through the
Through the Valley of the Dragons.
There we go. I actually, the newest Dragon Force album, I actually really liked. I'm a big power metal fan. Of course, Dragon Force then got extremely overhyped with Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well as ridiculous parodies.
Or at least just that song. I don't know if people really know many other ones. Maybe that. Maybe.
Well, to be fair,
Operation Groundhound.
to be fair, at that point in their album, if you knew one song, you kind of knew them all.
No, yeah, it's true. But that can be said with a lot of power metal. It's usually you have the twin twin harmony leads going on, where you like start out usually slower parts, like a slide in with both guitars, and you kind of go whatever, then quick little sweep and whatever. Then the riffs are either just 16th notes, usually at about 200 beats per second if you're Dragon Force, or like 175 if you're a lot of other bands, like Rhapsody or whatever. And then you'll, when he keys.
Well, I think it's also the fact that
the blast
Operation
beats.
Ground and Pound, like, just straight up samples Through the Fire and Flames as well.
Operation Ground and Pound straight up sampled Fury of the Storm, which of course straight up sampled Through the Fire and Flames. No, but their newest album, I really liked it. They had the singer from Trivium also cameoed in it. Trivium, like their new album too.
I still haven't heard anything after Ascension, which
Start
is the only Trivium album I actually own.
start talking about power metal bands, and I'll be talking for hours. Opposed to how long we've already been talking about it. What's your you're a thrash guy. Thrash is your big genre. So what's
Well, out of the metal,
Same
yeah.
squeaking? What's your favorite
out
band?
out of metals,
All time favorite band? Linkin Park. Kanye. No. What do you got?
Actually, I don't know. I'm one of those guys that doesn't really have a favorite band. I just I like listen to death out of one album or something like that, and then I'll like move on to the next one
Mm.
eventually.
No, yeah, I pretty much have the same thing. It's hard for me to just kind of gauge my favorite band. I usually just have the bands I'm currently listening to.
I used to have a favorite band when I was during my emo phase.
And what was that?
What?
What was your band during your emo phase? Linkin Park?
No. Uh,
You're like crawling
band
on my skin
called-
really gets me. Oh, what?
a band called Aiden.
Aiden?
Yeah, with their songs singing about vampires and
So were you really into vampires and stuff when you were emo?
not really. I just really like that song
Oh, I said you like draw vampires and stuff.
and that entire album actually is what I liked. It's what I used to like to call horrorcore.
Is that its actual name or just what you call it?
Just what I called it.
Oh, okay.
At least I think, anyway.
You think that's what you called it?
No, I mean I think it's just what I called it. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Maybe other people picked it up.
I could see it be something somewhere. There's all kinds of different genres.
Well, I nicknamed it horrorcore because it was like post-hardcore music, but they sung like The Last Sunrise is a song about being turned into a vampire, and Die Romantic is about committing suicide. Cheery stuff.
Yeah. So we've mentioned a lot of like subgenres and stuff. Do you like it whenever people are like a subgenre elitist, where it's like they're like, this song isn't a thrash metal song. This is groove metal, or this isn't death metal. This is folk or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
'cause I
kinda.
generally like I name the bands by the genre that they describe themselves as because that's what what they call themselves. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're not that. Like Metallica is Metallica. I'm not gonna say every Metallica song is a thrash metal song. I'm not even gonna say every song's a metal song. But that's whatever they want to play. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, they're not a thrash band because they play "Nothing Else Matters," which is a song James wrote about his wife and kids, and that's gay. Or, whatever people say about stuff. I don't.
Nah, I never got really like that. I mostly stuck to what I'm like now, actually, which is sort of, if it sounds good, I'll listen to it. So it doesn't really matter what genre it is, whether it's thrash, deathcore.
Prince of Bel Air. Oh. Fresh Prince of Deathcore.
Now I'm just thinking about Fresh Prince of Bel Air, like with sick drop beats and death screams.
And a shred solo. While he's riding
And
a taxi, of course.
Mm.
West Philadelphia, I'm born and raised on the playground, worst most of my days. You have to have the one doing like the. Well, the other one's like.
And a lot of dissonant harmonies, because deathcore has that a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like where they'd like take a chord, but it'll be like completely off key and dissonant. And then you've got guitar. Then you got bands with guitarists like what's this called? Is it Zach Wild?
The
Who
guy
does-
that took over after Rhodes for Ozzy?
Yeah,
Yeah. Who does a crap ton
basically-
of freaking pinch harmonics?
yeah.
Like,
He
okay.
like does it every other second.
Calm your tits. Yeah. But Zach Wilde, he was
Although,
actually a really good guitarist. I'll
mm,
still give him that. But and he's a funny freaking dude.
although I did like Randy Rhoads as a guitarist, especially in Bark at the Moon and Mr. Crowley.
Well, that's why I said he is my favorite guitarist.
I think Ozzy himself actually said that his favorite guitarist that he worked with was Randy as well. He really felt the emotion of the solos, man.
Also, I totally mixed two people's names a second ago. I meant Jason Becker.
What did you say, John Becker or
I
something?
said Jeff. But yeah, Jason Becker, the guitarist that got ALS.
I like a lot of different metal, or just general rock bands from the 80s as well.
Yeah.
80s was like a really good time for rock music because it had like different variants that wasn't
Well,
all
plus
terrible.
everything was like new, so people didn't like they didn't know what a limit, like what their limits were. Like even now we technically don't know what the limits are, but like they weren't like, oh, that's a pretty sweet riff. Let's just play that, and then everybody played one riff. It's just they're like, oh, dude, that sounded awesome. They're like, I bet I can add on to that. And so they just start adding like all these guitar fills in the middle of it. People like, even bands like Rat, like round around where it's like instead of just be like straight power chords, they're adding all these other high notes and guitar fills and anything else like that.
And then you got bands like Iron Maiden that they were like, let's make our guitar sound like horse
They're
gallops.
like, you guys, you know, you play galloping bass, right, Steve? And he's like, yeah, of course, that's what I play. And they're like, we're gonna do it at the guitars too. And he's like, perfect. So then the whole time,
You had triplets.
but I love Maiden. Iron Maiden is still one of my favorites.
Their cult classic, Fear of a Duck.
I did back in college. I had one of my speech classes. We had to bring in and do like a full reading of lyrics from any song, and it was supposed to, we were going there and be like, oh, just tell us the song. We have to talk about what it was about, like as a class after somebody read it. So of course, Fear of the Dark is the one I chose because it's like that'll be a fun one. And everybody else, it was basically what was what year would that have been? Like 2010. Yeah, so it was basically just whatever was big then on pop. So it was a bunch of their music, and then I was just like, I brought an Iron Maiden.
Yeah. And then everyone was like, oh, Jordan, you're so cool.
Yeah, that's what happened. That professor hated me. She was basically just like, "You're a dickhead. Get out." She never actually made me get out, but she. I will admit, I can be sarcastic, and I will admit, some of my professors I was purposely extremely sarcastic towards every time they spoke. Um, but only the ones I really liked. This professor I didn't like, so I just didn't talk. But for some reason she thought I was a dickhead. I was very respectful in her class.
Well, at least you're a nice dickhead. Or dickhole.
Thanks for thinking my dickhead's nice.
You just call me Max.
What?
I think you just said Max.
No, I said nice.
Oh. It's like, I hate you, Dad. I'm gonna live on my own.
I thought you were gonna do this.
You're always a racist.
Yeah, there we go. I love that it's the same voice actor. It's back to music. They got some good music in that movie, eh?
What?
And Goofy movie. They got some good songs in there.
I can't remember it. I remember How Deep Is Your Love.
Do you remember Stand Out? So stand out! He's like going through
I need to turn that off. My Xbox is blue banana bleeping.
I mean, we could probably end any time. We've been recording for an hour and 10 minutes.
Well, to be fair, we stopped talking about what we were doing. Talking about, like, half an hour ago.
Yeah.
It's basically just turned into a normal Skype call.
Pretty much. Until next time, guys. Later.
Goodbye.